We used to live close to Central Park, and my dad took me to the park, and me and him flew kites. We actually ended up on the newspaper the next day, and that was actually one of like the best memories I have with my dad. It was one of the first memories that I have from this town, and it was very pure and very nice. I remember that day as just for me.
It was like geometry and statistics were like the two maths I actually like kind of enjoy doing and like understand pretty easily. And so I was actually getting like 96s and stuff like consistently on geometry tests, and it was always like off by one question basically. And Mr. Patrick's would be like, wow, you're so close, and like would be super sarcastic. And then the one time I got 100, and I was so happy because I'd finally gotten 100 after being so close for so long. And then he held me after class and asked me if I had like cheated or copied in some way. And I was like, I don't understand how this like even logically makes sense, because like I'm obviously like capable of getting good grades because I've been getting like 96s and shit consistently. And like just that like he wouldn't believe that I could get like that 1 point by myself or something, like a serious accusation, and I felt like there was no point to it.
Yeah.
So that was super shitty. And he did that to me again in statistics because I was getting really good grades, and like anytime I'd get like B pluses all the time, and like anytime I got like a 95 or something, he'd like hold me back and be like, hey, like, did you study differently this time? And I was like, yeah, that's why I did better. And then he'd be like, and was always like super suspicious of me for absolutely no reason.
I loved this boy, and I was very upfront about when I loved boys most of the time. Because I was, I don't know why. I was like very funny and like in your face, I guess. Maybe that's not a was thing, but my whole thing was kind of about being direct, I guess. And so when I would like a boy, I would just tell him, and then I'd see how that went. It usually didn't go very well. But this one I was like, okay, I'm not going to tell him because he's like too cool. He's like too cool. He's like way out of my, not out of my league, but just like it's not going to happen. And so then I didn't tell him, and I knew he was hanging out with this other girl, and they started seeming like they were going to be a thing, kind of. And I was like, oof. So then in a previous conversation, we'd talked about like, I'd send him this long text message about why I thought he was cool. And so then whenever I decided that I was going to tell him that I liked him, I prefaced it with like, okay, I'm about to tell you something, and I need you to think of something to tell me before I tell you my thing, because I'm nervous about my thing. And he said, okay, and he pulled out his phone, and he had this note written out of all the things that he thought were cool about me. And I like almost started crying. And then I was like, okay, I know that you're starting to be more kind of a thing with this other girl, and I really want to stay friends with you, but I just don't know if I'm going to be able to because I kind of like you also. And then he like pulled over and had something like almost a panic attack, I guess, like maybe halfway there. And he was like, I really wish you would have told me earlier. And so that was sad, but it was also like the night was very sweet, I guess. There was like, I can like remember the song that was playing in the car, and like little jokes that we had along the way of like getting back home. I like wouldn't tell him where my house was, and because he wanted to try to guess, but then he couldn't find it. So we got to hang out longer.